Hello and welcome to another Busy Webinar. This is Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb. Delighted to have you here. We're going to talk about Pinterest for business today, so hang on tight. We're going to get through and get you pinning and winning in no time flat. We'll get right to the basics here and talk a little bit about BizzyWeb. We'll give you a brief demo on how to ask questions during the event today, and then we're going to get right into Pinterest. We're going to talk about basics, what is a pin, what's a pin board, how you set up your personal account, all that fun stuff. Then we're going to dig in for business. We're going to talk about the differences between personal and business pages, what you need to know when you're setting up a page, how to authenticate your page to your website to make it a confirmed and true website business page. And then we'll also talk about analytics, what you can do with analytics, and how to use a little bit of advertising. We're going to go into a demo for that last part. So this is your chance to take all kinds of questions down, and I'll show you how to do that right now. All right, so if you are on the webinar today, and we have a bunch of folks already on with us, so thank you very much. If you're on the webinar right now, you probably clicked on play inside of this video embedded window. Well, if you would like to ask us questions during the event, under number 1, right on the top of the webinar, there's a little link that says Google+. If you click on that link, you can open up a new window, and then it's going to go into this page where you'll notice that it says Q&A and live. Well, if you click play on here, it's going to open up a new window, and that new window, or it's going to open up in this window, and inside of that window, you will see a link or a new page, and then over on the right, you'll notice that there's some space to ask questions. So down at the bottom, there's a big green button that says ask a new question. If you click that green button and ask a question here, you will pop your question up there, and then other people can +1 your question if you're in Google+, or I will take it and I will go through and answer those questions as they're received. I'm going to be stopping at various points during the event today just to double check that we don't have questions. If you're having internet problems, or if your screen has frozen, if you can hear me but you can't see me, usually the answer and the way to fix that is just to scroll backwards in time a little bit on this embedded window. So you'll see down here that this is where the window is, and you can scroll backwards in time on here, or try reloading your browser inside of that window, because you'll be, normally when we have folks that can't see or can't hear things, it's because they're having connectivity issues with their browser, not with us. And we have folks standing by just to make sure that our window is working and that there's no technical difficulties. Everything's getting broadcast out. So if you're having problems, unless I notice or mention otherwise, it's probably something with your connection. So just go ahead and try it again. Apologize for that. That's part of the business with streaming video, but usually it goes away magically and all by itself. Worst case, you can always go back and watch the event after the fact, because it'll be live on this page, or on this event page right here. So you'll be able to watch that. It's always going to be here. So if you go back to event, BWPFB, that's what we're going to be at forever when you look at this. So that's a brief overview on how to get there. Again, you're going to click on this Google+ link, and provided you have a Google+ account, you'll eventually get into this window. You'll be watching it from here, and then click the green Ask a New Question button. If you do have questions about Pinterest, what you can do, or if you want us to review your pin boards and give you some suggestions, go ahead and enter in your Pinterest profile account URL here, and we will take a look at it and connect up with you and see how it's going. All right, let's get back to business and talk a little bit about who BizzyWeb is. If you've been on Busy Webinars before, you know that we've been around for quite a while now, 16 years in fact, and we're based out of Champlin, Minnesota. That's just a little bit out of Minneapolis, and our team of 15 serves clients all over the world. We have a large number of online marketing clients. Or a good solid chunk of those are web design clients, where we build WordPress websites for them over the years. And then we also integrate and seamlessly dovetail in with online marketing. So we do search engine optimization, content marketing, that means writing for our clients, pay-per-click advertising, web hosting, email marketing, you name it. If it's online marketing, we do that for our clients. Of course, we also set up social media accounts, and part of what we're talking about today is one of the accounts that you see right up in front here, and that is Pinterest. So if you need help getting your Pinterest account set up and would like some professional help, give us a call at the end of the event today, or you can call us and visit us at the account information at the bottom of your screen, either 612-4BIZZY-O, 612-424-9990, or just give us a call or check us out at BizzyWeb.com, or send me an email at dave@BizzyWeb.com. All right, here we go. Let's get into Pinterest. So Pinterest has been kind of a cultural phenomenon for a few years here. There's the big social networks, Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus to some extent. I think Pinterest is really probably the number 3 under Facebook and Twitter right now as far as total size. It's eclipsed Google Plus quite a bit ago. Instagram is also right in there for the running, and we're going to be talking about Instagram next week. But Pinterest is really a big, big deal, especially for people that fit the demographic of Pinterest. What are those demographics? Well, out of the 100 million active users, about 85% of Pinterest users, and that's as of about mid-August, I guess, according to Pinterest, 85% of the folks that are on Pinterest are still female. That's 42% of all adult women that are online in the US, and 13% of the men. So Pin allows you to save images and videos to pin boards. It allows you to share boards and videos. Basically, if you have imagery or moving imagery to share, Pinterest is a perfect place to do so. Pinterest has been said to share or to push more traffic to websites than LinkedIn and Twitter combined. So if you want to get a lot of traffic to your website, having a good solid Pinterest strategy, again, provided you have something visual to share. Folks that are busy doing highly image kind of oriented stuff like t-shirt manufacturers or contractors, construction folks, are going to be much, much easier to share than an accountant or a lawyer, for example. But there's a lot of ways that you can use your words and your thoughts on Pinterest as well, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, so first thing obviously you want to figure out how to do is to create your account. So in order to set up that account, what you need to do is simply log in with Facebook or Twitter or email after going to Pinterest.com. There's a big old login or sign up button, and then you fill out your profile. It's going to ask you a little bit about you. It's going to ask for your Pinterest username and to try to keep it to your name if at all possible. That's how people are going to find you. You'll be able to set up and integrate your social media accounts, which I recommend if you want to get your pins shared across as many networks as possible. If, for example, you're very active on Facebook, linking your Facebook and your Pinterest accounts will tell everybody on Facebook that also has a Pinterest account that you've just joined Pinterest. And so they'll be much more likely to start following your boards. So you might want to do that after you already have a little bit of content. And so in order to create content and drive things to your personal brand, and then of course your business brand, what you're going to want to do is start pinning. And so you'll create some boards, add a bookmarklet or an extension to your browser, and then visit places that you love. Now, a lot of this for business is probably going to be related to your business, but you can share anything that's of relevance and interest to you, of course, but also the types of people that you're trying to reach. So if you'd like to connect out with your best clients, again, having a very solid idea of who those clients are, what their interests are, what their hobbies are, and what they're most likely to click on or be interested in is going to help you drive traffic directly to that website and that person. So if you get out there and you start pinning and you're doing pinning that relates directly to the people you're trying to reach, that's a great way to connect up. Now, I've talked about personal accounts a little bit, and I'm going to gloss over them largely because we really want to move to business pages for us. But in personal versus business pages, profiles and personal business or personal pages are all about you. So that's your connections, your contacts. Think of it as your personal Facebook account versus your Facebook business page. With pages, it's about your business. And so what you want to focus on is your audience and getting in front of as many people as possible. At business.pinterest.com, there's some really handy links on how to get started, the tools to use. They give you some examples of wins that other people have done. And you can even do buyable pins, and it walks you right through that, how to use advertising and how to make your pin boards into an online sales tool. And that's pretty interesting and fun. It's a relatively new item on Pinterest. And so if you're interested in that and for more of that, just go ahead and log that in the comments section, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. With content for your business page, what you're mostly going to want to do is focus on engaging information. What you want to do inside of a good pin is share curated content. So whether it's imagery or infographics, informational things that give you the top tips or top things that your clients need to know about something, ideally related to your business. Focusing on graphics and imagery. Great tools for coming up with images like that include some EE cards, SOME cards. That's a great way to grab clip art, add your pithy, witty quote, and publish that on your website. Or you can use Canva. Canva is a free tool that allows you to create images. This Let What You Love Be What You Do image on here, that was created in Canva. Canva is a very simple image creation tool that lets you just type text on top of things in fancy, stylish ways. The key is you want to make things kind of aspirational, interesting, visually arresting and appealing. Videos should be interesting right from the get-go. You can import and integrate YouTube videos on Pinterest or videos that are embedded on your website. You can link right into them. Imagery that's on your website, examples of your clients. BizzyWeb uses our portfolio section quite a bit, and I'm actually going to share with you the act and the art form of creating a pin for your portfolio by going to do it on BizzyWeb's website. And so if you're interested in that, that's great. And then there's also blog posts. So inside of blogging, you've heard me talk about blogging before quite a bit. What BizzyWeb specifically does for our clients is we integrate social media so that you can focus on the content on your website, which is the foundation of your entire online world. And then your website will automatically post content to everywhere else. So what that means for you is if you publish a blog post on your website, include an image on that blog post, click publish, and if your website is set up to automatically publish to Pinterest, it will automatically go to your pin board of choice. And as long as you do the right category or the right sections, pinning will be relatively automatic, and it's a great way to drive traffic to your business. So have an interesting image. You don't want to have a picture of a paperclip or something that's completely not related to the article you're talking about, but it's very easy to create an arresting, interesting, engaging pin via your website, especially if it's built in WordPress, to make it go and to create and auto-populate your pin boards to a greater extent. Once you get in, of course, you're going to want to take some of that saved time to get into each of those social networks. Specifically for our purposes today, you're going to want to talk and go into your Pinterest board and perhaps add some links to your content and some keywords to your calls to action and your captions. But that's going to be a great way to drive great traffic to your website. Great pins include things that you can use mobily and things that are relatively simple. The easier, the better. We like to include snapshots of our clients' websites and link to them when we load up new websites. Quotes and graphics tend to be popular. The key thing, you always want to use a caption. And I'll show you that in a minute. When you use a caption, it's a great way to drive additional and include keywords inside of every pin. A lot of people, when they repin content, they're relatively lazy, or especially inside of the mobile device. If you're going with the Pinterest application on your Android or your iPhone, when you repin, it's not quite as easy to edit and curate your own content as it is just to repin things in their entirety. So if you have great content that has a great call to action inside of your caption, more likely than not, people are just going to reuse your caption, and everybody that they share their boards with, or anyone that follows their pin boards, will automatically get that content pushed to them, and then that will propagate across the web again and give you even better search engine optimization, drive more traffic, and link directly back to your website or your call to action, because you took a little bit of time to curate and to add a little bit of context to that caption. Calls to action can include URLs, so don't be shy about including URLs to your website or to specific pages or landing pages on your website, because you can include that, and those links inside of your captions are clickable inside of Pinterest. So not only can you link and drive traffic to the images or videos on your pin boards, but you can drive traffic to any link or content that you want by simply including a URL to that content. I'll show you again what that means when we get to our demo. But first, let's talk a little bit more about what and when to pin. If you're looking at things and how and when you're going to do some stuff on Pinterest, a general rule is that do things at least once a week. And this goes to any of the social networks really, but be sure that you're pinning at least once a week, you're Facebooking at least once a week, you're doing something. You may want to just set aside some time with your website to update your website once a week and let your website do that heavy lifting. But you can go up to about 5 times a day without overly spamming things. And again, if you're pinning, you're probably pinning across multiple boards. And so you might want to pin one thing to each one of those boards every day if you're doing 5 pins and you've got 5 boards that you've got. Some of those things, the content that you publish can either be about you, your products or services, your digital assets, if you have guides or ebooks or infographics, interesting content, again, that's very visual and very shareable. If you have curated pins, things that you found elsewhere, that you found on other pin boards, ideally from referral partners or other folks that drive traffic to you and your website, that's a great way to re-pin things. Blog post tips and how-tos are great on Pinterest, or even inspirational quotes. Now, don't make quotes your one-trick pony. You want to do more things than just quotes. And again, you really want to kind of mix it up across all the content that you use on Pinterest, because people are going to be continually engaged and drive toward what you want them to do the more variety you introduce in their life. Now, you don't want to be scattered, but you do want to share different types of content regularly, because if you only share one type of thing, if you only have a funny quote every Tuesday and that's all you do, you're not giving folks much use or much interest in as far as what they want to do and what they want to see from you. You want to cast a wide net. You want to try and capture and engage people as much as possible. And again, the steps in marketing are engage, inform, capture, and convert. And so what you're trying to do inside of Pinterest especially is mostly engage. Some of those pins that you put out, the images and things that you post, might be informative, but all of them are designed to get people to do something. And so that's where the call to action and the links in the descriptions of your pins can come out. And then if you do this well enough and often enough, you'll start converting people into customers. So I wanted to skip over and take a peek, make sure we don't have any questions. We have a lot of viewers here today, so hopefully everything's going well for you. Again, if you do have a question that you would like to see answered about Pinterest, if you're having a problem with your Pinterest page, wondering how we can help fix that, would love to take that question. Also, if you have a pin board that you would like to share with our audience today, go ahead and post that up, and we will publish it and talk about it today during our BizzyWebinar. Let's go back into our content today and talk more specifically about business pages, how to do it, and why. So, why business pages? Of course, first and foremost, if you're doing Pinterest for business, you're trying to get people to do something, and you're trying to get found for the content you're publishing. By default, your personal pin board isn't as searchable as your business page is. There's no limitations on searchability or Google or any of the other search engines inside of business pages. And so it's a great way to lock content in and to get the most search engine optimization value if you have a business page. They're also easy to integrate with your website when done right. And you want to drive, again, to business profile, not your personal profile, unless you happen to be a one-person shop that only identifies with your personal brand. But what we do at BizzyWeb, we auto-post for us and our clients to our social media networks via the blogging tool that I mentioned before. It's very easy to click, grab that featured image or grab the first image from inside of the article, automatically pin it, and add a curated description inside of the caption of that pin that pulls automatically from the excerpt section of your WordPress post, for example. It's very simple. Another thing that you get when you're on a business page that you don't get so much on personal is analytics. And then, of course, as the next level, advertising. So you can see details on what people are doing, what they're visiting, what they're repinning, what people are finding most interesting for you. But you can also get information about demographics for them, because Pinterest knows almost as much as Facebook does, but not quite. And they do share some information back and forth when you log in with Facebook or Twitter. So they have some information and they can share with you the types of people that are visiting your Pinterest profile. If you have a visual company, or if you have products that look beautiful, are engaging and interesting, if you're a photographer, if you're a florist, if you have some sort of tool or product that you sell, we have a number of clients that have online stores, and Pinterest is one of the main ways that they drive traffic to their websites. If you have that type of content, Pinterest is definitely for you. If you also have a video library that you've been publishing and using on a regular basis, pinning those videos is also a great way to drive traffic there too, because all people need to do is simply follow your pin board, and then every time you update with a new pin on that board, they'll get a note that says BizzyWeb has just updated their new client profile pin board. And then they can check it out, they can repin it, they can go down that path. To create a business page, you just need to go to business.pinterest.com. There's very easy buttons. You can join as a business. You can transfer your existing personal account over to business. Now, depending on how active you've been on Pinterest, that may not be a good idea, and it might be easier to start from scratch. If you do that, you can't use the same Facebook ID as your personal profile. But what you may wish to do is just tie it in with your Twitter account, because you probably have a different Twitter account for your business versus your Facebook page. And so if you use your Twitter account, that's actually how BizzyWeb does it. We have our Pinterest account tied to our BizzyWeb account, and my personal pin boards are locked in via my Facebook account, for example. After you get that content in there and you get your page set up, you can set up your URL. You can load your logo. You can do some about information and all that other stuff. You can verify it to your website. And I'll walk through this for a second, because there's a little bit of code that you have to put in from Pinterest to your website in order to get it verified. But once it's verified, then you'll get much more traffic and integration than you would if you don't have a verified site. Once you get all that done, of course, what you need to do is simply start pinning. Another thing about Pinterest and business pages is that you have access to these analytics. So it's very easy to keep up to date with visits, pins and repins, demographics. You can just scroll right across the top and look at your audience. I don't know if you can see this inside of here, but your audience is up at the top. Activity from BizzyWeb.com, from your website, since you've locked that in. Your personal profile. You can look at your Pinterest profile in details, your audience, your activity. And it's a simple interface that allows you to scroll up and down. It's locked into 30 days as far as a default amount of time that you can see. But if you've been active on Pinterest, that should be about all you need. As far as business tips and what you really need to know and do with business and Pinterest, of course, make sure that it's a fit. So decide if your customers are using Pinterest and if that would be likely. If you have if you have a lot of women as customers, and most of us have at least 50% of our customers as women, Pinterest is a great way to reach out and to connect with that market in particular. Adding a pin it button to your website is a great way to get people and to encourage people to repin your content. It should be right at the bottom or included in every single post or page on your website. Because if you have interesting content and shareable stuff that they've happened across other ways, and if they're big pinners, they can share that on their own. And that's a huge hat tip to you and your content. And so if you can use that, that's a great way to drive organic and authentic content to your website. Get visual, of course. You want to bump up the quality of the images on your website. These are things that need to be interesting and engaging enough that people will want to repin them and save them to their own pin boards. So if you're not doing content that's interesting or engaging, putting a simple bar chart might not be as engaging or informative as having dynamic imagery with a bar chart or something else. And some EE cards or the Canvas of the world, or using PhotoPin to find great imagery if you want to reuse content. Again, make sure that you have commercially licensed Creative Commons stuff if you're on PhotoPin. But publishing that type of content out is great to drive that traffic. Again, promote more than products, post news, tips, helpful information. Again, it's a conversation, and it's easier to have a conversation with people that do more than one thing or that talk about more than one thing. So learn from the heavyweights, follow big names, and look at your competition, or look at people that are related to you in your field to see how they're using Pinterest, because there's a good chance that you'll learn something great from people that are already doing a great job on Pinterest. All right, let's get over to our demo so that we can share some more details and information. I'm going to take you through a few things inside of here. We have a lot of viewers today, so if you do have a Pinterest page that you'd like us to look at, to add as we're doing our demo, or if you'd like us to connect or share and answer questions, by all means, this is your chance to do so. So let's move on and look at Pinterest for our businesses. So on Pinterest is an example of, this is Pinterest's page, or this is our Pinterest page. If I go to pinterest.com/BizzyWeb, that's the BizzyWeb account and what we've got going on here. So again, we locked in our location. We did our verified URL, our address. We have our Twitter account assigned to this, so you can log in. And again, that's how BizzyWeb logs into our Twitter account, since I have a personal Facebook account that's tied to my personal Pinterest account. But simply having a little bit of detail inside of your website, or about your website, who you are, what you do, what you need to do more of. If you've heard of Etsy, huge connection and huge way that they've grown all of their businesses over Pinterest, and by having boards. Essentially, they've used Pinterest as their online marketing and their online e-commerce store. BizzyWeb, for example, has boards about BizzyWeb clients, about BizzyWeb, our partners, our buzz builders and BizzyWebinars, and then our tips and tricks that we've found all over the web. And so that's how we use it. And again, you can simply follow pins. I'm logged in as me, and since I'm on my board, if I wasn't logged in as me, I'd have a big follow button here. But since I am me, I can click inside of here and I can curate and edit content. So we published a few examples of our clients. I can repin things, I can share them, I can log in, I can edit stuff. And now, new with Pinterest, there's a way to send content. So if I want to send something to a Pinterest user, I can simply click send, and then I can add messages to, for example, if I'm going to repin, I can send this to my clients, and so I can send out notes directly to them. These have to be people that are on Pinterest, so you're going to want to connect with your Pinterest accounts and your people. So one of the things that you want to do when you're in Pinterest is connect up and follow those boards and make sure that you've got all of those relationships connected. So once you're inside of here, again, notice especially on Brenda's page here, we've edited the pin. This is what an automatic pin looks like from BizzyWeb. BizzyWeb Client Sites, Venture Chiropractic, Minneapolis Web Design, Online Marketing. It has all of our keywords, but then we went a little bit further inside of here and we said, Brenda Elsiger, Living and Laughing, a beautiful, fun site to match our client's brand. How's your website working? Check out BizzyWeb.com/buzz to find out. So that link is clickable, and it goes right to our BizzyWeb Buzz Report request form so that you can take the next step to find out more about your website and how you are doing. And so I'll talk about that a little bit more. But as far as how these things work, again, when you get inside of Pinterest, you can edit your board, you can move your pins. There's other things that you can do inside of here. You can send boards, share on Facebook, you can make widgets. The widgets are content that you can embed on your website. So if you have a sidebar on your website or wanted to post things, you can simply publish And this is exactly what that looks like. So you have kind of limited coding options on here. Facebook gives you a lot more options for including widgets, but it's a great way to share content and to drive that content from your website to your pin boards and then vice versa. As we look at this editing, if I go back in here, if I'm on my home page, I have a little gear. If I edit my settings, I can see my content, my details, your logins, everything that you've got on here, your profiles, where it all connects, and then you can turn on or off if you're going to see things via email, on your content, or if you're going to publish notification settings. You can lock in with your social media accounts. Again, note that I'm not connected on Facebook because I have a personal account on Facebook, so instead we're connected with BizzyWeb, Twitter. So once that goes in, that's how you publish that out. And then again, once I get into this page, you can then check out analytics, so I can see my impressions from BizzyWeb.com, how many people have seen my content, repins on my content, clicks, original pins, all time on data for what I've seen. So our most shared pins, the BizzyWeb website, how to create a integrated web analytics plan, Serenity staffing, how to do content, so embedded content and clients, and best in search, pins that rank highest in search, practical systems, Robin Proctor photography. Again, photographers are huge on Pinterest, so no surprise that those are inside of there. Pins with a high mix of repins, clicks, and more. So you can see for your entire lifetime what you've been doing that's been working. So as you look at that, you can see all kinds of details. Again, you can also go into your audience and browse that same types of content. So you can see who's looked at your content, what their interests are. So user interface, street design, project management, photography, drawings, and then pinner boards with lots of your pins. BizzyWeb clients by me, no surprise there. Recommended resources by E.S. Swanson Law, client of ours. WordPress by Cody. Pinterest, social media facts, marketing ideas, companies I recommend. All that content is great for driving content to your website. So you can see kind of what's happening and how all of that works. Now, I did mention that I wanted to talk about how to get your content or how to get your website confirmed. And I'm just going to take you into business.pinterest.com quickly for that so that you can see how easy it truly is to get your business set up so that it's verified on Pinterest. So all you need to do is go to business.pinterest.com. You'll click sign up, and then it's going to take you right into this. In your settings, you just want to click confirm website in the website field, and that's right there. You type in your website, and then you confirm it, and then it gives you an HTML page, and you just grab this meta description, and you put it in the heading of your BizzyWeb or of your homepage of your website. That's what Pinterest is going to use to verify that you actually do own your page so that it can list that as a verified site. Once your site's confirmed, you'll see your logo or profile picture on pins that people saved from your site. And you'll also have access to web analytics in Pinterest Analytics. So it might take up to 48 hours, but if you've got that content up there and you're using it well, you might as well have it connected with your page in order to keep driving content around. So as we talked about things here today, the other big news for Pinterest, of course, was that you can now advertise and get content out there. There's buyable pins. So these buyable pins allow you to buy it inside of here. So if you have a website that sells things, connecting up with Pinterest might be a great way to drive content directly to your website and to your business right inside of Pinterest. It's a great way to reach new shoppers, and it's all free. And how you do that. Now you can advertise, you can get things set up. There's a wait list right now for this. You have to have an e-commerce platform on here. But if you're interested in doing that, again, drop me a link, and then we can talk about it, because it's a little bit more involved as far as what you're doing. But these buyable pins is going to be a huge deal for clients that need to drive content. But again, if you're looking through all of this, going to Pinterest for Business at business.pinterest.com will get you everywhere you need to go. And when you first log in here, you can click Join as a Pinterest or Join as a Business. And then if you already have an account, there's a little link underneath there that says Convert Now. And so if you have a business Pinterest account or an account on Pinterest that you've been using as a personal account, but you'd like to switch it over to your business account so you get analytics, content, and detail, then you can use that and convert your account over. Quick question here from Bilal. Bilal says, do you have to be an admin for a Facebook page to create an account using Facebook credentials? What if you have a moderator or advertised role? The trick here, Ben, or Bilal, is that if you are, what you have to do is you authenticate that with your personal profile. So you don't connect it with your business page, unfortunately, and it connects with your personal profile. So that's the trick. And so inside of there, you log in with your business account, with your Facebook account credentials, but they just use that to get you attached to that account. And then you really don't do anything inside of Pinterest or inside of Facebook at all. So it doesn't matter if you're an admin or what your credentials are. If you're a moderator or an advertising role inside of Facebook, that doesn't affect your Pinterest account at all. Instead, what it does is it gives you that ability to log in as your Pinterest account. You can add additional people to your Pinterest account as well. And I should probably share how to do that as well. But if you go over to your Pinterest account for business, if you go to your business basics, you can see inside of here, here's my business page. And then inside, I can do edit, or not find friends, but editing my settings, because this is my business page. So if I find friends, I can grab that from here. That's not what I'm looking for, though. I can give people, I think it must be in settings, social networks, apps. I don't do this very often, so that's probably where I am. But you can add additional people to your Facebook or to your Pinterest business account. I have a few folks that are authenticated to be able to post on that Pinterest board, and unfortunately, I'm having a bit of a time finding where that is. But maybe it's an edit profile. Settings, change picture. Well, I'll have to post an update on that because I can't find it right now. I had it just a couple minutes ago. But if you are interested in adding additional people to your pin board, that's how you're going to want to go. So, and perhaps that's just part of the Pinterest mystique. But as you look at this stuff, you can connect up, you can go through, and there's all kinds of information underneath your little drop down. So again, if you're interested in business and you don't want to type in that entire URL for business.pinterest.com, just going to this business page will also take you into that spot, and you'll be able to get things set up. So success stories, people that are doing things. There's a nice blog inside of here. Set up your business account. You create it, confirm it, and add the pin it button. That's really bugging me because I know that I can edit as either myself or as the account, but I can't find it right now. So let's take, I'll give you a couple more minutes to ask a couple questions. I'm going to switch back to our content here and just wrap things up for you while we're doing that last minute questions bit. Again, as a reminder, BizzyWeb is an online marketing agency focusing on both web design and online marketing. So if you need a website that can automatically publish to Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, and more, then connect with us today. We're also master certified and authorized local experts on Constant Contact. So if you need online marketing, we can help you at every space inside of the online marketing world. We also do web hosting, and our Buzz Builders online marketing programs do things including pinning for you to help you drive traffic and business to your content. Remember to join us every Wednesday for our Busy webinars, and those are available from BizzyWeb.com/events. And there's a bunch of other stuff that's available at events as well. Tomorrow we have a SCORE webinar for Social Media 102. If you're involved with SCORE, we have a webinar that's available. We have over 300 people attached to that webinar, so I'm super excited to talk about how to take social media in general to the next level. But then we're going to talk about growing your business with email and social. And then, of course, next Wednesday, the 30th, Busy webinar on using Instagram for your business. I briefly touched on this before, but if you would like to figure out how to do more and better with your website, take 45 seconds and go to BizzyWeb.com/buzz, fill out your URL, a keyword that you'd like to be found for. If you're feeling brave, you can enter in a competitor's URL, and then you click Scan Now. It takes about 45 seconds to get that report back, but inside of 2 minutes, you'll have a report that'll tell you what you're doing well and what you can grow with, including a very handy checklist. It's a 10-page report, incredibly helpful and interesting, and so I hope you take us up on that. It's a free thing, and we don't do anything with that content other than get a hold of you if you'd like to know about more information. So go to BizzyWeb.com/buzz and request that buzz report. Again, I don't see any more questions. Hope you enjoyed Pinterest for Business today with BizzyWeb. We'll see you next week for Instagram for Business. Very excited about that one, and we'll be sure to add a bunch of layers and filters onto myself so that I look my absolute best. But thank you all very much for joining us today on our BizzyWebinar. And remember, at BizzyWeb, we help you generate buzz without getting stung. Have a great week.